Oh, a lot of business. A lot of business up front this week. Let's do it. Hey, here it is. The franchise, episode number 188. And
Yeah.
we're still here talking about American Pie, courtesy of patron William Anastasio.
Yeah.
At Hookem William on Twitter, I believe. So this is the week we had to do two of the straight to videos. The American Pie presents The Naked Mile, and what's the other one called? Beta House.
Beta House. Yeah.
Yeah. I have issues with that title, but we'll get to it. Okay. Maybe the titles of these movies should be the least of my concerns.
I think they might be.
Maybe.
Yeah. They're definitely mine.
D-Train over here.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with anything this week. The only things being, ridden around in these movies are just like dicks.
Right.
Just cum shooting everywhere in these movies.
Yeah. It's H-bomb over here.
Yeah.
H-dog.
A bomb of cum.
I mean, whatever, you want to call it. H-shot.
Sure. Squirt.
Yeah, whatevs floats
Sure.
the boat. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be back here. It's been a week. I think Dan wants to get some...
What a week it's been. We've got business to get out of the way, Henry. First of all, I want to thank someone who, as you know, has always been one of my favorite filmmakers, Chris Weitz, for responding to us on Twitter. There was some consternation, Henry. Is Stifler calling Finch shit break, as I always thought he was, or shit brick, as it consistently says in the subtitles of the first three American Pie films?
And I maintained it was shit break.
Correct.
Vehemently, yes.
And turns out, Henry, we were correct. That's right. Chris Weitz clearing things up on the internet.
Very nice. Very cool. Very cool to hear from him. What were his words?
He says, "You're correct. It was shit break. Glad to be able to set the record straight." So
very nice.
There
very
you go.
Nice.
Follow him at Chris Weitz on Twitter. He wrote Rogue One. Give him some respect, ladies and gentlemen.
And, I got to say, I already did. I did throw him that little respect there. So it was nice that you wrote him, and very cool that he responded. So there you go.
That's right. Now we'll talk about the Star Wars that came out this week, next week.
That's right.
Right.
Yes, we will. Absolutely.
Very important. I have a lot of opinions about that movie. Okay. I also want to say, Henry, Mikey Graff, you missed a big superhero count. All right?
Uh-oh, Mikey.
Listen, Adam Brody, he showed up in that first American Pie movie.
Yes.
He's in the Shazam.
And I didn't catch that?
Yeah, maybe you're not clued in yet. His name isn't Lightning Man, so you don't notice it when you're going through.
Oh, okay. All right. He's a credited person in that and everything?
Big
like
part, big role.
Jeez. All right. Must have slipped me eye. Thank you, Mikey.
Okay, so what an important week this is. The stars are out. We've been through the GGs already. All right, We're on the other side of that fucking nightmare train, and on to the Academy Awards. That's right.
Yeah, man.
The noms are out. The worst batch of nominations since #Oscars So White back in 2012.
Okay. Now. Wow.
A really embarrassing group of films.
Wow, we are just all kinds of hyperbole tonight. All right.
That's right, Henry. We truly are a nation of children, nominating Joker for 11 awards, the most of any film.
Perfectly fine with me. Perfectly fine with me. Great film, great movie.
I've already made a vow, Henry. If Joker wins Best Picture, I'm never watching a superhero movie ever again.
I don't believe that vow, but
100% true. I'm done. I'm done. If you're really going to be taking these stupid movies that seriously, I'm out.
Wait a second. I thought we've spent a good deal of discussion on when these movies are great, that they should be given some recognition beyond just bubblegum popcorn.
But this is not a good one.
Oh, right. The opinion part of the opinion.
None of them are. None of them are, Henry.
Dark Knight getting a nomination was valid.
That was fucking over 10 years ago. I don't think a superhero movie has been made since The Dark Knight that really deserves... I mean, I get Black Panther.
Sure. I was fine with that.
It was all right, but if it won, I would have thought that was dumb.
Look, man, it's in the context of our show, it's relevant, but in the context of a competition, it's absurd anyway, man. I mean, I looked at the noms too, and I know what you're talking about. I've seen 1,000 movies this year that are better than most of the movies they picked. Okay, but the movies they picked, I don't think are terrible movies.
Of course they're not terrible movies, but it's another year. I'm telling you, there were good movies nominated last year too. They gave it to Green Book. This year, it's gonna be goddamn fucking 1917 or I don't know, or Joker.
Well, I gotta tell you, of the directors up, I have seen
all men, all white men.
True, of course, yeah.
I mean,
one Korean fella.
Who's nominated? Bong Joon?
Yeah, he got one.
Yeah,
he got the director. Yeah, I have seen 3 of the 5 movies, and I'm going to be seeing Parasite in 1917 very soon. So, I mean, Joker, Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, of those and of the pictures that are up that I've seen, I would be perfectly fine with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood winning Best Picture of the Year.
Look, if this is going to be The Departed for Quentin Tarantino, if this is like the coronation where it's like the Oscars finally decide we're gonna talk about that dude this year,
I think it's one of his best films, so I'm all right with it. I wasn't aware you didn't think it was one of his tops, but
I think it's a great movie. But I mean, this just is a thing the Oscars do sometimes.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, it seems like they're doing it to Scorsese again.
No, are you kidding me? They're nominating it, but I mean, has The Irishman won a single fucking award on this awards trail? And they fucking didn't nominate De Niro.
No, they didn't. You're right. Yeah, I was happy about the Pesci. That was very nice.
It's fine, but who else is nominated in that category?
You got Banderas.
Yeah, who else?
DiCaprio. Adam Driver. Yeah, DiCaprio for Hollywood.
Wait, this is lead actor?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
All right, Banderas, DiCaprio, Adam Driver, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jonathan Pryce.
Oh, God, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix.
You're goddamn right, it probably will be.
I mean, we're going to give Joaquin Phoenix an Oscar for the second best portrayal of the Joker.
Second time a person playing the Joker will have won an Oscar.
Fucking so stupid. I mean, we're going to nominate Joker for Best Picture. It's the second best Joker movie.
Oh, man. You want to hear supporting actors?
I don't care. It's going to be Laura fucking Dern. It's going to be Renee Zellweger. They're winning everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And Brad Pitt. It's going to be those 4 actors again.
You think so? You think it'll follow right?
They did it. The Critics' Choice Awards were this past Thursday. You know, another 2-bit awards show, and they gave it to the exact same actors.
Hey, your Knives Out got some love.
No, it didn't. It got 1 writing nomination. That's it.
All right. I don't know. I used to be happy, and I still am, if any film I liked got some kind of scrap.
This is an Oscars broadcast that has made strides in recent years, starting with the 12 Years a Slave year, to try and get it the fuck together. We took a huge step back last year with Green Book, and as far as I'm concerned, we're fucking walking backwards over a cliff this fucking year.
To give you an example, this is an organic reaction, even though I'm reproducing it for the show. When I was looking at the nominations and I saw Best Cinematography, I literally lit up when I saw The Lighthouse. I was
but it's gonna be Roger Deakins for 1917.
Probably, but I was still excited. I was like, they recognized The
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Thank God it got one. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I know. You know what we should do sometime on a Patreon episode? Might be fun.
Knives Out has as many nominations as like Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, or The Lighthouse.
Come on. All right, sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
We should do on a Patreon sometime. I bet the listeners would like this. It'd be very arduous, but on our part, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. But we should do our own Oscars.
Oh my God!
We pick supporting cinematography, music. We pick 5 nomos
for this past year.
Whatever we want to do it. For a year, probably this year, and just I'm talking later on down the line.
We could do it an Award Bros special.
An Award Bros special where we do the fucking Oscars and we pick the nominees. How about that?
The nominees. Well, I mean, we haven't seen everything, but we could do our best.
Well, but that would be the thing, is that we could do the things that aren't getting any attention, that are never going to get attention. Long Shot, fucking those types of movies. Anything that isn't getting any kind of notice.
That's right, Henry. We could really open people's eyes.
The Lighthouse would be in my Best Picture nominations.
No, they wouldn't be in mine even. It's because you're nominating up to 10. Is that
I don't like that. I've been against that since they started that shit with 2009 or whatever. I hate that 10 picture shit. But I don't know.
It still didn't get fucking Knives Out a nomination.
Yeah, I know. All right. Dan is pissed at the 92nd Academy Awards.
All right, so we're done. We don't need to talk about these hostless awards anymore. Let's get into these fucking disgusting movies.
So
this isn't a puritanical thing. This is purely these movies make my stomach churn.
I'm gonna have to really, really, really agree with my co-host.
Thank you.
On this. These were. I actually, when I was watching Beta House, and this did occur to me for Naked Mile, but I want to leave my mind open. But it's confirmed. We say this all the time. I'm not saying it today. Today I'm saying it. These are 2 of the worst movies we've ever covered.
I don't even agree. I think these are competently made. At least one of them is. I liked one of them more than Bandcamp, which we did last week.
I didn't.
I did. But they are just gross. And I'm going to go ahead and say, without even having watched The Book of Love yet, just skip these. I skipped these all these years, and I was correct too.
I went back and looked at our little at our iTunes website, our little franchise where we can see everything we've ever covered, and these are up there. These are in there.
What's worse than these?
I mean, it was. I was gonna say one of the Critters movies, one of the Friday the 13th movies, but the thing is,
Henry, always great to swivel back and forth while you're recording a podcast, so your vocals go.
I like to try to do as many effects as I can.
Okay, all right. How about talking into the mic?
On our limited budget.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it gets conversational because I'm looking at Dan, so I feel like he's right here with me, folks.
I am.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't put Hard Bodies there. because there was no.
The first Hard Bodies is so much better than these movies.
Of course, because there is zero entertainment value. I was ready to put one of the Home Alones or one of the Santa Claus above this.
You know, the entertainment value of these movies is it's jerk-off material, Henry. Like, if there was no internet and I was 13 and I came across these American Pie Presents movies, I would jerk off to them. But it's like I'm watching this American Pie Presents The Naked Mile, and there's this sex scene with a dwarf, a female dwarf, and I'm thinking, like, that's weirdly sexy. And then I'm like, but if I wanted this, I'd just go to fucking Spank Bang and search dwarf porn, and that would get me there.
Well, the thing is, these are the first movies we've covered as well where I have been completely desensitized to nudity.
There are so many boobs in these movies.
I mean, right.
You really do at a certain point. Like, I mean, you reach like a point halfway through the second one of these you're watching, and you're just like, oh, yeah, another boob job scar underneath the boob. Great.
Totally. It's like, it's like getting inured to violence in a horror movie. This was the first time that this has happened, and I'm just like, wow, I'm literally bored by this repetition of breasts and everything for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, if I wanted to watch this, I'll just watch Two Girls, One Cup. At least that's real. Like, if I'm going to watch this disgusting shit, I'll watch like real people do it. I don't need to watch these handsome fucking actors going through the motion of just like splooging, makeup on each other.
Right. You just watch Fear Factor.
Yeah, just watch that. You got Joe Rogan spouting one-liners in that. I hate to say it, but he's funnier than anyone else in these movies.
Oh my! We got Dan hating the nominees, praising Joe Rogan.
Everything's upside down.
Yeah, upside down, bizarro world. Mentioning Two Girls, One Cup for the second time in 3 weeks.
Dogs and cats living together.
Mass hysteria. And quoting a movie.
How about
that? Never does. He never does that. Oh, he's fired up.
I'm fired up. Let's talk about American Pie Presents The Naked Mile, which comes to us 1 year after the Bandcamp picture on December 19th, 2006. Hey, they released it before Christmas this time. You buy it for the whole family. Open it up Christmas morning and watch a scene of a dude murdering his own grandmother with his cum.
Yeah,
that's the opening scene of this movie.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. He's watching television.
Well, his family, his mom and dad and his grandmother, they're like going out. So he's got the house to himself.
Right.
He puts on some VHS porn.
He feigns sickness to not go to school so he can, or to not go out with them.
All right. To be fair, I did this.
Feign sickness to masturbate?
Yes. All right, I was 12 years old, to be fair, but my dad lent me.
I didn't ask to hear the story.
My dad had an illegal cable box, and he lent it to me so I could watch wrestling. Some wrestling. It was like King of the Ring or something, and I had it. We had it in the house for like one more day. Because before he took it back, like after work the next day.
Yeah.
So I faked being sick so I could use that day to watch porn.
Okay. All right. It work out for you? You murder any grandparents or anything?
Yeah, I think I've told this story on the podcast. This is the first time I ever had an orgasm. I was actually 11, not 12.
Okay, yeah, no thanks. I just didn't know if you had actually killed anyone with yours. So
are you kidding me? My shit doesn't shoot across the fucking room with the force of a goddamn bullet.
Well, I wasn't quite clear to me if she died from the shock of seeing it combined with being hit, or
I think it was the impact. The cum hit her right in the heart, and it stopped her heart.
It hit her in the aorta.
Yeah.
The aortic valve was just clogged.
And that was it. She'd die instantly. First of all, this is a traumatic thing. He would never masturbate again. He wouldn't be allowed to go to college. His parents would split up. His father would kill himself. This would have huge repercussions on this family.
This is true. The ramifications.
It'd be like that Outsider show on HBO, Henry.
Exactly. There you go. He'd be like Billy Babbitt in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He'd be obsessed with his mother. Brad Dourif.
I said Stephen Dorff. By the way,
he was born that year. Stephen Dorff.
Have you tried that new Stephen Dorff cop show?
No.
It's one of the worst. Henry, watch the pilot. Not even watch the first 15 minutes.
Okay. What's this called? I don't even.
It's called Deputy.
Where's that on? What channel can I find that, Jim?
One of those channels. Fox, maybe.
One of those. Oh, tonight's also an exceptional time for an old thing we used to watch on this show. Dan just totally knocked over, literally did an American Pie. In exclamation, fell back on his back. His feet are currently on the screen. I am not making this up. I am staring at his door. He fell over. I'm looking at his door with a bag hanging on it. I am literally staring at a wall.
I can't get up.
He can't get up, folks. Dan has fallen, and he can't get up. Hopefully he has a life alert that he can notify the authorities. That's a nice tape. Oh, wow, what a mess. Wow, what a moment on the show. What a great historical moment.
My chair broke. Look at this. The leg bent.
Oh, my God. Wow, dude. Holy goodness gracious.
I got no place to sit.
Wow, can you sit on the edge of your bed there, the floor, like yoga style, or wow? He got so excited about what we were about to say, he broke a piece of furniture and just everything went ass backwards. Didn't break the computer or the microphone though. That is gamesmanship, my friends. Wow.
All right, I'm here.
You want to explain what just happened, everybody, or do you think I did a good job there?
I thought you did fine. I leaned back on my chair. Oh, it might have messed up the recording. I leaned back in my chair and
your sound hit the button.
And the leg bent and I fell. Oh, good call.
All
right, we're back.
An unprecedented night, ladies and gentlemen. The stars were out in Dan's head. He was seeing all of them. That was like a Looney Tunes cartoon. He literally leaned back, and the last thing I saw was his body flailing backwards, and his sock was the only thing I could see for a minute. A white sock.
I'll have you know that my socks are black.
Well, I guess it wasn't. Maybe it was a dirty sock hanging somewhere.
Very possibly.
Are you okay? Are you injured in any way? That looked really violent.
I hit my head on the ground, I'll tell you.
You must have. And you kept your headphones on?
Yeah.
It's unreal, folks. He's like the last guy in a stampede in a war. He held on to the gun.
It's like I am so good at being a terrible podcaster. I'm the best at being bad at this.
Footnote, if I had just done what Dan did, he wouldn't talk to me for at least an hour and a half.
That's not true. I would just make fun of you.
Okay.
You can't fall backwards. You're leaning against a door.
That's true. I wouldn't be able to fall backwards. I could always fall No, you're in a unique position. Wow, that was exciting for me to watch. That was like reality TV at its best.
All right, should we get back to this movie?
I don't know. I want to make sure you're all right. Maybe get a CAT scan.
I might have like a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, you went hard.
Listen, I've seen wrestlers get concussions and continue a match. I can continue a podcast.
Well, without risking this to happen again, we were about to say that tonight we have a return of the new Pope coming at your heart. Got you, John Malkovich is your new Pope. Go ahead.
The new Pope, waking up from a coma, winking at the camera. He's ready to fuck. He's ready to fight. Young Pope. All right.
Yes.
The young Pope. Longtime listeners of the show know that in January of 2017, Henry and I were on the young Pope train. We were enjoying every second of it. We were promoting it on the show. It'll have aired by the time this goes up, but gang, that means you can head over to HBO Go right now and check out the first episode of The New Pope, and all 8 episodes, indeed, of The Young Pope.
Oh, absolutely. 10 episodes, actually. I was just redoing. I was checking.
10?
I was doing it to catch up, to see, refresh my memory.
God, that show just flew.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's so good.
Kangaroo. All right.
Basketball. Heart attack.
Is Diane Keaton in this one?
I'm not sure. I do know that Jude Law will be reprising his role as Pope Pius.
I know that Marilyn Manson's in it.
Really? That makes sense. And look, that's the great part of the universe of the Pope. Anything goes in this world. That's why the show's so great. Jimi
Pope-averse. Thank God we nominated both of the 2 popes for Oscars.
Got both of them in there.
Yeah, thank God.
Both of them in there. That was a little much. I saw that movie. That was a bit much.
What do? They chat.
They talk a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of talking.
What do they talk about?
Papistry stuff.
Papistry? That
I
can't
made that
be
word
right.
Papacy. The papacy.
Henry, where were we?
Naked Mile!
All right, budget $15 million.
Jesus.
Yep, and apparently it made $27.5 million in DVD sales. And so they were pretty happy with that.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so that's why you get like the same writer and the same characters in the next one, because this one was considered a success.
Well, that is a success, right?
Yeah. Unequivocal.
I don't know what a DVD... I should, since we used to work in this. But what is it? That's a fuckload.
That's good.
Jesus Christ. I don't even ever hear of this movie before we even did this. So, okay.
All right.
Did this come out?
Of course it did. Yes, we had it.
Wow.
Eric Lindsay is our new writer, and he will be our writer for these 2 films today. This was his first script, American Pie Presents The Naked Mile, and he has 3 credited screenplays. American Pie Presents Beta House, of course, and a film called Last Call. Let's see what that's all about.
Last Call.
Underachieving cousins Phil and Danny O'Donnell are forced to run the family pub to save their eccentric uncle from jail time and financial ruin. Sounds like an Ed Burns movie.
It does sound like an Ed Burns movie. There's probably an old wise Irish.
It's Christopher Lloyd. It's Christopher Lloyd. Hey, listen to this cast, Henry. You got Travis Van Winkle. No, let me get to the good ones. Tara Reid's in this movie.
Of course, there you go.
And David DeLuise. They've got the title in a red square to make it look like American Pie.
Perfect. I see what they're doing there.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our new writer. We've got a new director just for this Naked Mile one, and his name is Joe Nussbaum. Now, this guy got his start with the very successful short film. It had a lot of buzz back in the year of our Lord 1999, entitled George Lucas in Love.
Never heard of it.
It was a big deal. Got him some good work. An early internet success, Henry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He got a chance to make a studio movie, a film I enjoy very much, Henry, called Sleepover.
Okay.
All right. Now, that's about 4 young girls having a sleepover. Is it creepy that I like that movie? Yes, frankly. Yes. But I do, and it's worth watching.
Yeah,
and it's got a very young Brie Larson as a bully.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, Captain Marv.
Captain Marv herself, Henry. After Sleepover, he makes this American Pie movie. Then he does an Amanda Bynes movie called Sydney White.
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
that
me
one
too.
I remember. Yeah.
He's got a movie here called Prom. And ever since then, looks like we're talking strictly TV, and we're talking strictly Basic Cabe.
Base Cabe?
Base Cabe. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. This movie got no noms, I'm sorry to say, so we can't get into award shows this week.
All right.
But we already did, I suppose.
Yeah. Yep, we did.
Yeah.
And we already did the first scene of the movie too, so.
We did, man. We're flying. We're
We're
flying
going at a
tonight,
clip.
baby.
Yeah.
So the grandma's dead. Death by cum.
Yeah. Yep. And then we get to know Christopher McDonald, the famous Christopher McDonald.
Who deserves ever so much better.
He really does. And, he is the Stifler patriarch.
We should note that this kid who killed his grandmother is a Stifler. And what makes this Stifler unique, because we've already met a few. All right,
Yes.
Let's go through the list. There's
Okay.
Steve Stifler.
That's right.
Surely the most famous Stifler.
Easily.
Okay. Then there's Matt Stifler, his brother.
Brother, yeah.
Okay, played by Eli Marienthal in the first two movies, followed by Tad Hilgenbrink.
Right, who could forget that?
Yep, Evil Chris on Twitter found Tad. So, guys, everybody just stalk him until we could get him on the show. We all right. So that's two Stiflers. There's the Stifler's mom, of course.
Right.
We
right,
do
right.
not meet Stifler's dad at any point. I don't think.
No, we don't.
Okay.
That's right. You're right. You're right about that. Yep.
Okay, so now in this film, we have a virgin Stifler. That's what makes him unique. Eric Stifler is his name.
Correct. And he is Matt and Steve's cousin. So I guess I should correct myself. Christopher McDonald isn't really the patriarch of the Stiflers we know. This is what? Fucking Steve Stifler's, what would it be, his uncle?
I suppose. Yeah, is this Christopher McDonald, I believe, would be Sean William Scott's father's brother.
Right. That's
Or possibly his mom's brother. Maybe his mom is like the real sex goddess of the family.
No,
we know that she's fucking a younger boy.
This is a very good theory. I like this fan theory very much. But the name, it would have to be, because her name is a married name, presumably, Stifler.
But maybe Jennifer Coolidge has such a strong force of personality that she has made her husband change his name to reflect her family name Stifler.
Hey, it's the 90s.
Yup, it sure is. Will and Grace, Sex in the City, we're really pushing things forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right.
All right. So these are the Stiflers. We meet Eric Stifler, who he's a young boy. He's the lead of this movie and the next movie, and he's played by an actor named John White, who, I mean, he's nobody.
No,
Everybody in all these movies are nobodies, and they're all just Canadian as fuck.
They really are. They really are. Well, this is back when the Canadian dollar was worth more, so you could get people cheaper.
In Canada?
Sure. So now you just tell them, look, I'll give you $1. It's worth $2 American. They're like, all right, I'll do it.
I don't know. They're shooting in Vancouver or something, pretending it's Michigan and whatever. Right. All right. There's another Stifler in this movie, Dwight Stifler.
Correct.
And he's in college, and he's another cousin.
It gets a little, the family tree of Stifler gets a little convoluted.
Well,
because
there's a lot of cum flying around in the Stifler family. Maybe there's like 7 Stiflers out there having kids.
Yeah, because if Dwight is Eric's cousin, then he's probably Steve and Matt's brother. He's the other brother, right?
Do you think there's like one Stifler that's like living as a rabbi in Israel?
I hope so. Or are they a Jewish family, or could he be a convert? Yeah.
Yeah, at Ellis Island, they changed it from the Stiffbergs.
Yes, it's Eric's cousin. So Dwight is the third brother of Steve and Matt, but we're going to focus on the cousin.
Right. I suppose let's pay attention to Eric for now.
I mean, we don't have to pay attention to him. I don't really care, but yeah.
Well, he's got two friends, Henry. One is a broy blonde kid, and one's a broy brunette kid.
Yeah, big problem in this movie for me.
Interchangeable characters.
Holy shit. I mean, the friend Ryan and the cousin Dwight Stifler.
Uh-huh.
I confused them throughout the entire movie. They look exactly the same.
There's a character in this movie named Coos.
That there is.
That I sometimes in this movie I just forgot was around. And then he'd show up again. I'd be like, all right, that guy. And you know, you're right about Dwight Stifler. And what's the other character's name?
Ryan.
And Ryan is the only one of these characters that's not in Beta House, the next one. And I honestly think it might be because of that.
Really? Because he looked too much like
yeah, Dwight? I think for that movie they were like, we got to choose one of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Stifler.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, he's also got a girlfriend.
She's very boring. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the actress.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, she did not have much charisma.
Jessie Schramm, I think, is a very likable actress. She's got one of those faces, just guileless and innocent. Like you don't want anything bad to happen to her. It's a good quality. You know, I like her. She's she had an arc on Veronica Mars, Jessie Schramm, and I believe she played Chris Pine's wife in the movie Unstoppable.
Jesus Christ. Chris Pine's. Oh, the Tony Scott.
Yeah.
Film. I like that movie.
Yeah, she's in that.
She's fucking in that. Jesus. Wow.
You remember Chris Pine is like at odds. He's like not divorced, but he's having some troubles in his relationship, and he's trying to set some times to be able to see his son.
Vaguely, yeah.
Every so often in that movie, they're on the train, and he's on the phone with his wife. And that's his wife.
Jessie Schramm. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
All right. So, they've never fucked. Schramm had a previous relationship with a guy named Trent. and they broke up because Trent wanted to fuck and she didn't.
That's correct.
And now she's like, I'm dating a Stifler. I got to keep this guy happy, even though he seems nice about it. So she invites him over to fuck her. He goes in. He has to sneak out because he's grounded for murdering his grandmother at this point.
Right, grounded forever, a quote.
Yeah. For shooting a fucking, just spraying his cum all over his grandmother.
I mean, honestly,
and killing her. I can't get past this.
Honestly, it's sort of an involuntary manslaughter. I mean, he's kind of lucky he's not in jail.
It's just, you don't laugh. It's not funny. And it's not because it's offensive or even because it's gross. It's just because it's one of those things they think they're pushing boundaries. And like maybe like the second the fucking semen hits the grandma in the chest, you're like, geez. But like that's the only reaction you're going to have.
I didn't even have that. It's just so lazy, dude. It's so fucking lazy. Both of these movies are just, oh, God.
I wouldn't call that gag lazy. There's a lot going on there, but
yeah, I would.
But it's not good. Anyway, she puts on "Let's Get It On" to fuck. Great choice. Two teenagers just listen to some Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, because and of course, what went through my mind, because it's been happening throughout the series, immediately was, is this the real Let's Get It On, or did they have someone cover it to not pay?
I think this was the real Let's Get It On.
I think it was. They went under the radar, didn't pay the Marvin Gaye estate a dime, I'm sure.
But there are some fake songs in these movies. We'll get to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're gonna fuck to Let's Get It On. He gets naked. They put on a condom on his dick. And
do you want to put it on, or do you want me to put it on?
Let's put it on together. Yeah.
That's great.
So, but then, Henry, Spaghetti-O, her dad comes down to get a nightcap.
Yeah, he comes down to the very nice basement, by the way. Very nice.
Are they in the basement?
Yeah, because she's cordoned it off and reassures him that they won't be disturbed. The parents are asleep. Got a bar down there. Got a bed down there. Pretty nice.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
But he comes down. Eric Stifler freaks out. He goes to hide in the dryer.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
And he's naked. We get to see his butt. And the dad finds him in the dryer. He's got a stocking on his head. He pretends he's a burglar, and he flees the scene. And then we find out that, well, first of all, when he finds him, he farts. We hear the fart, and then he runs away. But what we find out the next day is it wasn't just a fart, Henry. It was a shart,
right.
And he shit in her dryer, and it comes up so just in passing. Like, she sees him the next day in school, and she's like, that was crazy last night. I'm so sorry. And he's like, you're sorry? I shit in your dryer. And she's like, I know, crazy. And it's like, if I was dating someone,
sure,
and they ever shit in my house, and it wasn't in my toilet,
yeah,
break up. It's breakup city.
Get
out of my house. I never want to see you again. You're disgusting.
Now, what if, as in Eric's case, as was explained by one of his buddies before that scene, remember, Eric, don't get nervous. You know what happens to your stomach. Do you recall this?
Yeah, so what, they set it up using that?
He gets instant diarrhea anytime he is nervous. Yes, it is said by his mother, too.
Right, but do they ever do anything with that after this scene?
I believe there are a few stomach comments, but that's the big shit.
He vomits a few times, but, like,
right.
It's not like he's walking around shitting everywhere in this movie.
No, but I mean, I believe the build-up for the sequence was indeed the dialogue.
But this is like 15 minutes into the movie. Like, you can't just... We're meeting this character for the first time. We're supposed to like him. In the first American Pie movie, we're endeared to Jim because in the opening scenes of the movie, his parents catch him jerking off. It's very embarrassing. He goes to school the next day. His friends make fun of him a little bit. We're meeting this Eric Stifler. The first thing we see of him is he's coming onto his grandmother, murdering her.
Right.
And then the next thing we see is he's hiding in his girlfriend's dryer and shitting in there.
Correct.
Now, how am I supposed to like this guy?
I guess he's like a lovable dope. Yeah, I guess that's what you're supposed to think, right? Lovable dope.
It's just impossible to like anybody in this movie.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, all he does is stupid, dumb things, and his physical comedy sucks. He makes Jason Biggs look like a fucking genius at it, and I wasn't a fan
He makes
of that.
Dwight Stifler in this movie look like a genius at it, and he's bad.
Yeah, he is bad. He is bad. This kid, the actor playing this Eric, he doesn't even have what, like, the guy who played Matt in Bandcamp had. Like, there's no...
They fucked it up. Because really in Bandcamp, they hired Tad Hilgenbrink. He, on the basis of his Sean William Scott impression.
Yeah.
In this case, they didn't hire a Stifler, Henry. They hired a Van Wilder.
Is that Van Wilder?
Yeah, this Van Wilder. I'm telling you, this guy is a Van Wilder. He's way more Ryan Reynolds than Sean William Scott.
Oh, okay. That's good. I didn't think of that.
By the way, saw this new Ryan Reynolds trailer twice yesterday.
Uh-oh. For what? What's this now?
It's called Free Guy.
Free Guy?
Free Guy.
How's that? What's that about?
He's in a video game. I don't know.
Okay. Drugs are bad. Jimmy eats something. I don't know.
It's one of these movies. Nerds will like it, I guess.
Okay.
He's quipping up a storm.
Oh, a lot of quipping. Boy, he found his calling, didn't he? Just quipping.
He's been doing it since the 90s. It's just like at a certain point we were like, I guess we like this now.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Okay, free guy.
Free guy. All right. So what happens is he and his friends, Eric Stifler and his two buddies, they're going to go visit Dwight Stifler at his college to see if maybe they want to go there. And also because this weekend is the Naked Mile, which is was a real thing until 2004 in Michigan, where a bunch of college students get naked and run a mile.
That's great. That's great.
It must be like the Midwest equivalent of what SantaCon is in New York.
Or it's like a porn version of what what do they call that? The Polar Bear Club, when people all get
right, the Polar Bear Club. Yeah, they get in cold water.
That's a good thing. It's good expenditure of your time. So he goes there also because Tracy gives him a guilt-free weekend pass.
Right. It's hall pass, actually. I have to give Green Book director Peter Farrelly credit for 3 years after American Pie Presents, The Naked Mile came out. He ripped off the exact same premise.
Is that right?
Yeah, that movie. This is exactly the premise of that movie, Hall Pass, with Owen Wilson and Sudeikis.
Oh, all right.
Which I saw in theaters for some goddamn fucking reason.
Of course you did.
Yeah. All right, so he's got a... No, they don't, but it's what it is. He has a hall pass.
Right.
They're on the way to whatever. Jessie Schramm, the girl, is calling him on the phone because she's decided to revoke his hall pass.
Right.
But his friend Travis or Tom or Chris.
It's Ryan and Coos.
Ryan, okay.
But
Ryan, he's getting his phone is blowing up, his Motorola flip phone, and Ryan takes it and throws it out the window while he's sleeping. This is a thing that happened a lot in movies around this time, where movies made it look like cell phones were just like easy expenses. That people were constantly just throwing their cell phones into bodies of water or out of their car windows.
You're absolutely right, or even breaking them in half. They were expendable things. Now they're lifelines. But yeah, and we should mention, of course, his girlfriend, whilst she is texting, is interrupted because who comes back for the fifth time? Eugene Levy.
Oh, that's right. He just sort of runs into her on the street.
Tracy.
Yeah, and we get an update. Seems that Jim's mom recently bought a copy of the Kama Sutra.
Yeah.
And Jim's dad's having a real hard time. He started going to yoga so he can limber up for all these crazy fuck sessions they're having at home.
I got to tell you, I'm a little bit overdosing on Eugene Levy.
It is like
I don't need it anymore.
I didn't honestly until Beta House.
Yeah.
I was really over Eugene Levy in Beta House.
Well, me too. Specifically,
he's in it more. In this one, he just shows up for like 2 scenes and gives advice to people.
Right, but it's too much, man. We got him.
It's just so weird that everybody knows him.
Yes, and that he's so malleable that he's like in the first movie he's a nerd, and then he goes into, and then now we find out he's like a frat guy.
Well, I want to wait until Beta House for that because I found that horrible and a ruinous miscalculation on the part of the Jim's dad character.
Okay.
All right. Henry, they're in the car, and Eric Stifler has to pee. He was going to pee in a can. And his friend Harry or Tom, he says, why don't you just pee out the window? So he opens up the window, starts peeing. The pee is going back to the closed back seat. So Johnny or Mike, he opens up the back seat window, so Coos can get drenched in pee and Coos doesn't notice. The second time in an American Pie movie, someone gets directly peed on and doesn't notice.
That's true. That's true. The first time was...
And Coos is not drunk in this scene.
No, he thinks it's the salt sea air. He actually is high on... He's high on something, though, because he sees like a chicken in the middle of the road or some shit. Remember that? The giant chicken?
I actually don't remember that.
You might have averted your eyes at some point or fell asleep. I get it.
I was at work.
He hallucinates a 100-foot animal in the middle of the road. And he says, "Look out!" And they almost wreck. And
wow.
Missed that whole scene, huh?
Is this in the maybe unrated edition?
I watched what was on demand on Stars, man. I don't know. I don't think it was.
Oh, I watched on Stars, too. I don't think it was unrated. Okay.
So he's high. He thinks it's sea air, and it's piss into Coos.
Great stuff.
Piss to Coos.
So we get to the college, and honestly, I gotta say something about this movie. The director, Joe Nussbaum, the fellow who went on to make Sleepover...
Nussy, we call
Old
him.
Nussy.
Old.
I actually think that the job he does in the early goings of this movie, setting up the characters, is much better than Bandcamp. I think it's way more competently done. And
Boy.
I really do believe that.
Yeah.
I think he's genuinely trying to set up a new crew of characters. He just is saddled with a really uncharismatic bunch. I do think the movie just falls apart entirely once they get to college, though.
Yeah,
I think he's all right at capturing that small town vibe early on.
I don't know. I mean, it's just so cartoony. Even the small town vibe. It's just that the reason I groaned was just because I didn't feel. I mean, we're comparing Naked Mile and Bandcamp, so I mean, I didn't think he really set up any better than the Bandcamp thing. I mean, it's about the same. I mean, the level of competency.
I was more like, even though he kills his grandmother, I was like, at least this kid's not annoying yet. I think Matt Stifler is so fucking annoying in that Bandcamp movie.
Well, that's true. That is a good point. This kid's kind of a Thomas Ian Nicholas. He's just there.
And I think these movies, one thing I'll say about these American Pie Presents movies, I think they're doing an okay job casting the female leads. Because I think Ariel Kebbel we liked last week, and I think Jessie Schramm's good too.
Yeah, she's just kind of a nod-off to me. There's nothing going on there. I didn't think she was an Ariel Kebbel. I'll say that. No way. She was my MVP last week.
Oh yeah, Henry loved Ariel Kebbel.
It was great.
All right. So they're at the college. Dwight Stifler, he's having a drinking contest with some guy.
Yeah.
The other guy loses the drinking contest. He vomits on some girl's boobs. There's so much of that in these two movies. How many just boobs drenched with vomit are you looking at in these movies?
I mean, you lose count because, and I thought you were going to say also just how much vomit. I mean, there are bodily secretions of every kind.
Most of the vomit, though, is like just liquid. Like they don't make an attempt to make it look chunky, and I think it's because they know we have so much vomit in these movies, we can't make it look too gross.
Well, maybe they don't have enough. I mean, they have $15 million, and obviously 14 went to Eugene Levy, so they have to save on special effects. So probably just vomiting liquor is cheaper too, as an effect. It's just water coming out of their mouth, you know.
Total water vomits.
Yeah, they're Jim Beam vomits.
Is that what you used to get with Jim Beam?
No.
Okay.
No. No, I was a Jameson guy like you.
Of course. What happens next, Henry? Dwight Stifler's in a frat. And the next day they have to play a football team, another frat in a game of intramural football, and it's an all dwarf frat. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know if they were dwarves or I'm not sure.
They say call us little people because we're using the word midget just willy-nilly 100 times. But I mean, like, they're giving it back as much as they get. Like, we get onto this football team, and it's like, who are we gonna root for? Dwight Stifler comes up, just calls this kid a fucking midget, and then the dwarf responds, "All right, Captain Retard."
Right. True. So they
great. Everyone's just so likable in these movies.
They are really likable. They make themselves just as unlikable, if not worse, than the other guys. And I immediately recognize the lead little person as the actor from In Bruges.
Oh, and Henry, is he in your superhero count?
No.
He played one Howard T. Duck in a 1980s classic film.
Jordan Prentice?
This kid, yeah, he's Howard the Duck.
He would have been born in 1986, dude.
Surely I'm right about this.
No, there's no way you're right about that. Please look up Jordan Prentice.
Looks like a lot of different people played Howard the Duck, but he's one of them.
All right. Well, he didn't fucking show up in my count, so nice catch.
All right. Great job, Henry.
Yeah. You know what? I had to go through all these cast members again because they're all fucking different.
Oh, I know, and they're all Canadian. They must be in mad DC shows.
It was real fun. Real fun. Yeah.
All right. So they play dwarf football.
That scene goes on for
It goes on forever, and they're playing in the mud, and they all get disgusting for no reason. It hasn't rained. It's sunny out. It's a nice day. They just found one muddy patch of field that they're playing on.
And it is it felt like a full game.
Yeah, it really did. We were watching in real time.
Yeah, I mean, and then they do slow-mo. We get to see the old Nussie's directorial tricks. You know, he gets to use a couple of different types of panning shots, and it's
Do you
really
remember
good.
what song was playing?
No.
It was that hip-hop song from the 90s. It was a hit. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
Who's that by?
I don't remember.
Could they get the rights, or did they have someone?
No, it was the real one. It was the real one. Oh, they had $15 million for this.
That's the point.
All right. I mean, what's next? Eugene Levy shows up again.
He does. Yeah. Because then he sees on the bench, right? He meets Eric, and Eric tells him about his guilt-free pass.
That's right. He's like, I got a hall pass. My girlfriend's at home. I only want to be with her. What do I do? And Eugene Levy recaps the events of the first 4 movies. I mean, it's unbelievable because at first it's fine. He's telling the story of how Jim wanted to be with Nadia, and then he realized that he was right for Michelle, which makes sense in this situation. But then he starts going on, and then the next year I was at band camp, and I was helping out your cousin, and it's like, wait, really? We needed to talk about that movie?
In case you didn't catch band camp, you wanted to make sure. Yeah.
He also says that Eric's dad, the Christopher McDonald character, bullied him when they were in elementary school, which made me think, hello, spin-off American Pie Babies.
Oh, imagine the scatological shenanigans you could get up to in those flicks.
I think it's a great idea. Do American Pie Babies. You could do it like that movie Good Boys.
And Look Who's Talking.
No, because you want it to still be R-rated.
So there'll be babies.
This will be American Pie Presents American Pie Babies. And what you can do is it's Jim and those guys as babies, and then you can have one baby who's like, I'm the Shermanator. these two dialogue? No, because I don't actually mean babies. I mean have them be like little kids.
Oh, I thought I was really
Well, you can do a cartoon. Yeah, maybe there's an interlude in the movie, like a cartoon where it's actually American Pie Babies. But I think for most of the movie you can have them be 8 or 9 years old. And you have two little kids going MILF, 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 and then you do a flashback to Eugene, and you can have a little kid doing a Eugene Levy impression, and you could put big thick eyebrows on him.
Perfect. There you go.
That's not bad.
I think someone's listening. Hey, Chris Weitz.
Oh, that's right. I gotta pitch this to my man Chris Weitz. We're friends on Twitter now.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh boy.
There's a bar scene where they get in a fight with the little people again.
Oh, that's right. And yeah, I mean, everyone hooks up in that scene, right? And then we like catch up with them.
Yeah, and then you see you meet Jordan Prentice's, what is he, older brother or cousin, who's a regular sized person, and he just laughs a lot and is there.
He's just a sidekick, and he has a dwarf girlfriend, and they're all weirded out because she's kind of attractive, even though she's a dwarf, because dwarves aren't allowed to be attractive.
Yeah.
And Stifler ends Dwight Stifler ends up fucking the dwarf. He also has a three-way at one point with a monkey. Did you happen to notice that?
Well, I did, because she says we'll miss you, and there's a little fucking Indiana Jones monkey on there.
He comes out of a fucking house, like clearly post-coitus.
He'll fuck anything. That's just... I think anybody...
He won't fuck that sheep like the dude in the next one.
That's true. He draws a line at bovine animals, but clearly...
Sheep is bovine? Isn't that cow exclusive?
Is it cow? I thought that sheep were part of the cow family.
Sheep are part of the cow family? What family do you live in?
I thought it was a bovine creature. I could be wrong. You know, it's happened before.
I suppose it has. Okay, so now it's time for the Naked Mile. Oh, the dwarves beat up Dwight Stifler, and he goes to jail for a second, but then he gets out. Or he goes to the hospital, and then he gets out.
And that was such a weird scene, too, because when
it's nonsense.
When the van pulls up and the door opens and they all come out with masks on, I thought they were going to, like, kidnap him or something. It was very strange.
They just beat him up, it seems, and then leave him?
Very strange.
Yeah, so he gets out, whatever, and they're all going to do the Naked Mile. The three boys, Kuz, Eric, and the Dude Meister, they all, Dwight Stifler gives them drugs, which they assume is like LSD or something, and they're like, let's get high, so we're like, you know, like when we're running naked, we won't be like self-conscious. But It turns out that it is, you know, Viagra or whatever. And they get real hard dicks. And, you know, in the real world, if like a bunch of people were running a Naked Mile and there were like three random dudes whose dicks were just super hard, like they'd be pariahs. Like no one would want to hang out with them. But they of course meet like three girls who are instantly like, let's hang out with the hard dick boys.
Correct. Yeah. And they run this whole fucking stupid thing, and then they go to a bar.
Everyone, by the way, we get a long sequence of everyone taking their clothes off, I want to say. And,
well, this is when the fatigue
I just want to say, no, there was something special in this scene, and there's something you don't get to see in movies that often.
What was that?
Pussy lips.
I might have missed that.
There are girls taking their pants off in this scene, and they're just the glistening pussy lips, right in the center of the screen.
Or what, are they bent over?
Yes. This scene is crazy explicit. The Naked Mile part of American Pie Presents The Naked Mile goes on for a really long time. And
I know.
There's close-ups of boobs bouncing because they're running. And
it was like the sequence in Airplane that's funny when the woman with the breasts walks in front of this camera, except extended to 35 minutes.
It's just, there's so many boobs in this movie.
It's overload. It's fatigue. It goes on forever. And it gets worse. I mean, the movie just gets worse and worse because when they finish and then they go to the bar and then they're playing...
That part is worse. That part is worse. But they start doing like party games with their hard dicks because their dicks are still hard at this point, like ring toss and shit like that. And that goes on forever. Like for my whole life. They play like an entire shitty song and...
It's interminable, man. It's interminable. Yeah.
I forgot the one last Jim's dad appearance where he actually introduces the Naked Mile. Like he says that he founded the Naked Mile in the 60s.
Yeah. Another, I like how you described it. What ruinous departure.
It just kills that character. Like he's supposed to be a square dad. That's what's interesting and funny about him.
Yeah,
and he's understanding because he's understanding, not because he was some kind of crazy drunken tool in college.
Apparently he was. Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice the Naked Mile was sponsored by Trojan? Trojan logos everywhere.
Trojan?
Yeah, Trojan condoms.
Trojan.
Yeah.
Trojan. Okay, Trojan.
Yeah, I did. Trojan.
You're saying it like a Czechoslovakian or something. I wasn't sure if it was
Trojan.
Something. Trojan. Interesting. I didn't know you pronounced your J's like Z's.
I don't. I know it's like Jack, but it's Trojan. It's not Trojan.
No, it's Trojan. Trojan.
I guess you're just overpronouncing it.
All right, let's keep this conversation.
All right. All right, everyone fucks at the end of the movie except for Eric, who rides a horse back to his girlfriend and prevents her from boning her ex Trent at a party. And that's great stuff. Kuz ends up with sort of a Bobo Michelle, like a sort of nymphette kind of a girl, which is fine. And that character actually shows up in the next movie, but has no interactions with Kuz. Did you happen to notice that?
No, I did not, because
the girl who's hanging around with Eugene Levy at the end of the movie, like introducing all the events.
Oh, that's her?
That's her. Same actress.
So many of these actors and actresses are so interchangeable. I didn't make pick any notice.
Well, I was able to tell all the actresses apart in this movie from the size and shape of their nipples.
Well, that makes sense.
Because those are on screen more than their faces.
And it's the only identifiable trait. And also, we never mentioned that the very, very sweet, moving scene with Eric and Brandy when she is.
Brandy is a girl who specializes in de-virginizing young boys, which is creepy, and she's gonna fuck him in this movie.
That's right.
He's gonna use his hall pass on this girl, who's
that's right.
Very attractive young girl.
Yes, she is.
I mean, generic blonde girl, but good looking.
No, she's got a lot of personality. And he decides to revoke it himself. He self-revokes the pass, and he gets the hell out of there, gets on the horse, goes to the party.
Did she have her mouth on his dick already? I was wondering about this. Because, here's what we see. Here's what we
she did. Yes.
Are you saying that because of when he says, wait, stop, and she wipes her mouth? Yeah.
No. Oh, that's funny. No,
she does an old wiperoo of her lip.
Oh boy. No,
I just kept picturing Joe Nussbaum, the director, like, why don't you wipe your mouth when you're okay? What you're gonna do is your head is gonna come up from the bottom of the frame as though you were sucking him off. And what you're going to do is first you're going to wipe your bottom lip as though you got a little bit of pre-cum on you. All right? And action.
Cut. No, not like that. Not like it. Do it again.
Give me a bigger wipe this time. You were really going for it right off the bat.
53 takes for that one shot.
The casting couch of these movies, Henry. The amount, because there are so many naked extras.
Right. And they're just looking at that, I'm sure. They're like, well, we got to see. This is part of the process. No,
they're calling girls in and just being like, take off your clothes, turn around. All right, you're in.
Next.
Yeah. I think there was one black person in the Naked Mile.
That's right. I saw her. She ends up with somebody, I think.
Have we Omar Benson Miller last week? Is he the only black person in the history of this franchise that's had like a speaking role?
I believe we came to that conclusion, yes.
I don't think we had any this week.
Well, no, we have the black girl. The black girl in the movie.
In the Naked Mile?
Yeah.
But she doesn't have any lines. She's just running.
No. She's in the bar scene. She's with the midget. Then she turns
Don't
and goes.
dwarf.
I'm using the parlance of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, no. You don't remember. She's one of like the trio of
one of the girls they're hanging out. Oh, you're right. She's got curly hair, and she ends up hooking up with Dwight.
Dwight?
I think she hooks up with Dwight.
No, Dwight is Stifler.
That's right. And Dwight hooks up with the dwarf.
Correct.
And then we get that montage over the closing credits of them traveling around the world.
It was really good.
On green screen.
No, the Coos hooks up with her because he says something like,
no, Coos hooks up with that redhead girl.
That's in Beta House.
No, that's
the Dominatrix.
No, not the Dominatrix. The girl who's like sort of the Michelle.
Oh, right. Yep. You're right. Jesus, who knows? Anyway, someone
calls her. Dwight bones the black girl.
And he says something to her about, I never thought I'd be some bisexual or whatever, some shit like that. Or Ryan.
She looked like Lark Voorhees from Saved by the Bell.
I actually think I know who you're speaking of. Wow.
Yeah, the one black girl on Saved by the Bell.
That's probably why.
Lisa
But
Turner.
no, let's rewind 9 minutes. And I think that because he's banging on the door when Tracy's about to lose it to Trent. And he says, I didn't go
but then
through
it's not her in there, man.
Right. But he says, I didn't go through with it. Well, okay, I partially, or says something like that. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, because he kind of did get like half of a blowjob there.
God, that's got, you got to give him credit.
It's
like, I mean, to stop after, like, it's already been wrapped around. I don't think I could do that. I've stopped a girl after some tugs. But once saliva hits me, I'm a goner.
And, oh, God. So, look, somebody on this show during American Pie has to try to be a gentleman. And I'll be damned if it's going to be me.
Are we done with this? What do you give this movie?
This movie is a complete piece of shit and was real tough to sit through, and that is 1 star.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. Who's your MVP?
I'm figuring that out right now. I do have an LVP.
I do too. Who's your LVP?
That's going to be Eric Stifler.
Okay, mine is Coos. He was just so boring. Like, there was just nothing going on, and I felt like he was just total dead weight. I actually kind of think he improved in the next movie, even though he's still like impossibly horrible.
Yeah, he got more to do.
Yeah, he got more to do because there's one fewer friend.
Exactly, that's right. That's right. They got Ryan. Yeah. MVP, huh? Boy. You know what? I might just jump on your train there, and who are you going to give it to? Tracy?
I guess. I hate to keep just giving it to the female lead of these movies, but I mean, they just keep casting a sweet girl to be sweet because that's all they see women as. Either women are like just sex pots that are shoving their pussies into your face, or they're like just like a sweet, nice girl, and that's the kind you want to end up with. And so, they keep casting these nice actresses to play those roles, and that's fine. I thought this girl was fine.
Yeah, she left me nonplussed, but in the absence of anybody else, she'll be my MVP, Tracy.
Great stuff. And you got a superhero count on this?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thank you. I was sleeping at the wheel there. Very happy this week. This week's superhero count is brought to you by the Oscars. Never nominate a movie with a superhero in it again.
No, you can. Just make sure it's like, not a dumb piece of shit, and don't give it 11 nominations.
Here we go. All right, Dan, well, I think you're going to be happy because for the first movie, there's only One.
I think that's bullshit. You're missing a lot. Everyone I looked up was in a superhero thing.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I looked up everybody in the cast.
Every single person I looked up was in an episode of like The Flash or some shit.
You know,
are you looking these people up on Wikipedia?
And they all have pages.
Oh yeah, you think these are not stubs? You think these are comprehensive pages for the cast of American Pie Presents The Naked Mile?
Can I tell you something? Superhero count is my domain. All right, Dr. Sardonicus, it's my lab.
Lemur, Josh Lemur out there. How about a real superhero count? Give us a real, actual superhero count on this movie, because Henry is asleep at the wheel.
Starting to get on my nerves.
All right, who's the one?
Christopher McDonald played Jor-El in Superman the Animated Series.
Uh-huh.
He played Superman in Batman Beyond. He played Harvey Dent in Beware the Batman.
He played Mr. Cleaver in Leave It to Beaver.
I will have you know that if you're talking about modern day like superhero shows, and there should be a lot, I do in the next movie have a fucking Flash person, okay? Somebody's in the Flash. So I thought I'd hit a lot of Smallvilles and Lois and Clarks too, but I've been at this a long time. I'm a veteran superhero looker, even though Mikey Graff caught me last week.
You sure did. You're a veteran superhero looker.
That's right.
Great stuff. All right, American Pie then a year later presented another movie, and this was called Beta House. Written again by your friend Eric Lindsay and directed by a new guy named Andrew Waller. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you familiar with Andrew Waller?
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, that's fine. He hasn't really done anything. I mean,
well, he was
he wrote an indie movie called Search Party that did a little bit of noise a couple years ago, but that's it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. He worked with Ellen DeGeneres once.
On what?
Oh, he was a location assistant on Mr. Wrong.
I've seen Mr. Wrong. I got it. Boy, have you ever seen Mr. Wrong, Henry?
No, that's got to be uncomfortable.
The sexual chemistry between Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Pullman, just blistering, just flying off the screen. You could feel the heat.
All right.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, hey, now.
I fucking hate Ellen DeGeneres.
Do you? Really?
Yeah, she just got like a Lifetime Achievement Award for...
Right. I watched
She's never done anything good in her entire career.
I guess it's for that show, right? Is that what that had to be?
She's been around. Look, surely what you can say about Ellen is she has had a long career. She's always been on television.
As long as I can remember.
Yeah, but she's always been on television producing trash.
Yeah.
She's never been in a good movie. Her movies are like Mr. Wrong and like whatever, Goodbye Lover and Ed TV. You know, she was on a sitcom called Ellen, which was fucking terrible until she came out of the closet halfway through the 4th out of 5 seasons. And then it was just interestingly terrible.
Do you think they gave it to her because of that one episode?
Yes, of course. People only remember that show for that one episode.
Right.
When Laura Dern and they kiss at the airport. Look, it's so ridiculous. And then that show gets canceled. They give her another show, The Ellen Show. That's a piece of shit. It gets tanked after a season. She gets her own daytime talk show, which is one of the most insufferable things you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, it's
she takes a second job as a judge on American Idol. She's the worst judge they've ever had on that fucking show.
A second job. I love how you make that sound. It's like you or me working at. I had to take a second job the other day. I'm hauling trash every Thursday. Yeah, she takes a second job.
Now she's hosting a game show called Ellen's Game of Games. I've seen commercials. I mean, she's never produced a decent piece of entertainment, and we're giving her Lifetime Achievement Awards. We're giving her a Lifetime Achievement.
She got the Carol Burnett Award.
She got the Carol Burnett Award, and we're giving her a Lifetime Achievement Award. The same awards show we're giving Tom Hanks one.
I mean, if anybody...
They're comparable. Our movie award's going to Tom Hanks, two-time Oscar winner, one of the best actors we've ever had. The TV award, we're giving it to this lady who produced one interesting episode of a sitcom 30 years ago.
I mean, if anybody's going to get the Carol Burnett Award this year, wouldn't it go to somebody like Tina Fey or Amy Poehler? Somebody who's
they wanted to go older?
How old is she? I mean, she's 50-something. I mean,
yeah, Tina Fey probably would make sense, sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anybody. Give it to Cloris Leachman.
Do it Oscar style. Give it to the people who are barely walking.
Yeah, why not?
That's true. It's a good point. Are any of the Golden Girls still alive besides Betty White?
Nah, I think she's the last remaining Golden Girl. How come we didn't give Cloris Leachman a decade-long coronation like we did with Betty White?
That's a good point. Or Rue McClanahan.
Oh, Henry. Beta House. Let's get back to it.
Bet they rue the day they didn't do that, huh?
Yeah. Budget, it's dropping. Under $10 million for this one.
I see that.
Box office 18.6. It's still good, but it's like significantly worse than the last one. And so they were going to make a third one with these characters, and they decided not to.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yes.
All right. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah, still more than... Listen, this is also a different time, Henry. If a DVD sold $18.6 million worth of money today, they'd keep making them until the end of time.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I mean, granted, I still buy DVDs and Blu-rays, but it's just me.
It's just you.
That's it.
You're a lone wolf.
Best Buy is
collecting them up.
Literally there for me.
At the end of the world, Henry, you'd be like the last man standing, just like in your house with like piles of DVDs going, finally enough time to watch.
I'll be Burgess Meredith. And like
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, and if you're going to give away or burn all of yours, I'll have yours too. I could build a fucking fortress with them.
How come the books didn't get wiped out in that nuclear war?
That's a great question.
Seemed like all the bodies were like liquefied.
I don't remember I haven't seen that episode in many, many years. Is that why he ends up alone?
Yeah, he's down in he works at a bank and he goes down to read during his break in the vault.
Oh, well maybe there's no fire, in that particular area.
Well, everyone dies.
Radiation.
I always just wondered, like, why aren't the books disintegrated? And if the books aren't disintegrated, then the bodies aren't. And if the bodies aren't, then glasses aren't. So if you break your glasses, just pull some other glasses. It's not that bad.
Take
some glasses off a body.
That's a great point. I never thought about that. He breaks his glasses, and it's like another end of the world. But just grab another pair of specs, right?
That's right. Plot hole, Serling. I've got your number.
That's what they call him. That's what they call him at the VA. Plot hole Serling.
Yeah. Old plot hole Serling. Rowdy Roddy Serling.
Speaking of VAs, I drove by one yesterday. There was a giant Confederate flag flying outside of it.
Oh, at a VA?
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff.
Yeah, real nice.
You know what I was thinking about?
I
was watching something where it was like Confederates were the heroes in it. In the movie, there's a lot of movies like that, like Civil War movies where like the Confederates are the heroes. How come there aren't any like killer war movies with like heroic Nazis? It's the same thing, right?
Absolutely, it's the same thing. Sure. I don't know. We get on that, I guess. Listen,
let's
Daniel.
Make a World War II movie with like some really sympathetic Nazis, just like try to make a better life for their families.
Listen. It's about Rommel and Himmler, but it's got a twist.
Mm-hmm. Himmler meets a hurler, and
they
fall in love.
Eisenhower and Patton are the bad guys. They're the unsympathetic fucking bad guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get John Voight to play one of them.
You win. You won. Tom Hanks plays
a Nazi. Yeah, Tom Hanks plays the Nazi. That's dynamite, dude. The Nazis are played by Tom Hanks and Paul Rudd.
Impossible. And you're going to hate yourself for liking it. And it's going to be very controversial.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the idea.
I think it's a great idea. And I think you make it like real. What?
James Woods and John Voight can
That's
be
great. And I think you make it really traditional. You get like someone who's like, I don't know, like Tom Hooper or
we have a lot of fisheye lens close-ups.
Yeah, whoever directed The Danish Girl can make it.
There you go. Gerhard von Vouten.
Who's that?
I just made it up.
Great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Florian von Donnersmarck.
There you go. The sequel to The Tourist.
Henry Beta House.
Right.
Let's talk about it. We're catching back up with Eric Stifler. He's on his way to college. He's decided to go where Dwight goes. They set up some exposition. We are told, because Jesse Schramm is not in this sequel, that she ran off with, quote, that pretty boy Trent, who was her ex-boyfriend in the first movie. In the context of the movie, like, and the emotional stakes, it makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean, yeah, I was right off the bat. I was like, did I not just watch a fucking 110-minute movie about how they were the love of each other's lives?
It's an entire movie about how they're both good people at heart, and their friends are trying to get them to do bad things, and at the end they decide to be together.
Yeah. So we start right off the bat with no explanation.
Well, we do. We have an explanation. She ran off with that pretty boy Trent.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
All right, so she's gone. Meanwhile, Christopher McDonald driving Coos and Eric. I assume Coos doesn't have parents to school, and he's very excited because he's a Stifler. He hits on some girls outside of a window, and then pops out a piece of loose leaf paper, shows it to his son, and what it is a list of every girl he's ever fucked.
Yeah, that's great. You know,
which, by the way, has 51 girls on it, and for a Stifler, he could have done better.
For a Stifler,
not that much.
For a Stifler, I would at least think it's in the hundreds.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be triple dig.
It has to be. Yeah, I agree. I have to say, Christopher McDonald was pretty bad in this.
I don't know why he bothered to come back for a second one of these.
I mean, he's one of those actors, like many we've talked about and covered. The guy always gets work. I mean, what's he doing this for? He's always playing a creep on something.
I think he just takes whatever they give him. God. McDonald's one of these guys who's got like hundreds of credits on IMDb. He just
I
works.
know. Well, you remember him? He was in fucking Thelma and Louise, for fuck's sake. He's been around forever, this guy.
He was in Flubber.
Flubber. Oh, he does take whatever they give him. Okay. Yeah.
I first knew Christopher McDonald as being an angry dad and stuff. Like all the kids movies I saw as a child, he was always like, "Boys."
See, I always picture him in like kind of the Thelma and Louise role, like where he's just a fucking white trash scumbag. That's what I know him as, the bad guy, just a stock bad guy. You know,
well, that's sort of what he is in this, but he's like a bad dad.
Yeah, not good.
All right, so what happens? They settle in. Eric Stifler immediately has to pee. He goes to the bathroom, finds out it's a co-ed bathroom.
Right.
There's a naked lady in the shower. She's going to be the love interest in the film, so let's just go ahead and meet her naked already.
Yeah.
She asks him to pass her something.
Shampoo,
sure.
Yeah. Right.
But then just when she asks him that, another naked lady walks out of the shower, and he's peeing in a urinal at this point.
True.
And he's so flabbergasted by the sight of these sweet, sweet boobs that he turns around and pees all over the girl he likes, like shower stuff.
Right.
All right,
Right.
and
Right.
then leaves. It's never mentioned again for the rest of the movie.
No.
She's never
No.
she's never like, why'd you pee on my stuff?
No, she doesn't care. He then goes into a very uncomfortable scene to watch.
This was my favorite scene of the movie.
A very large.
I am not
man.
joking. I liked this scene.
Did you really?
Yes.
I did. I got to say, the one thing these two movies had in common, besides being bad, was I mean this. I'm not trying to be a curmudgeon. I did not grin once.
I grinned a couple times.
I did not.
I don't know. You know, I think these movies are so generic that anytime they do anything a little out of the ordinary, I'm interested. And so he walks in on his new roommate, who's this fat guy.
Right.
And he is fucking his girlfriend's fucking him. She's on top.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Hey, welcome, roomie." Like, how's it going? Nice to meet you. And the girl's just like still fucking him. And what I liked about this is the girl's kind of zaftig, and like everyone in these movies is so model beautiful and model skinny that like it was like a relief to see like a naked normal person.
Yeah, you're actually right, and I had the same thought. Her name in the movie is Margie.
Yeah, and they treat her like she's disgustingly fat. She's like slightly, she's a little overweight. She's frankly pretty attractive.
And she's quite attractive.
Yeah.
No, you're right, though. It's true. Zaftig, yes. And, it was still not funny. To me, I feel like that's a scene that could work in a comedy.
I like the idea of the super open roommate.
I do too. I just think it's directed so poorly and with no panache that it's just this kind of joke that just sits there and lingers, and again goes on and on and on.
Well, it does breach the last moment I liked is when he says, "Why don't you jump in on this?" He's just like offering up a DP to his friend,
right?
Which is, I mean, sort of disgusting. But I liked this girl. Like she's giving her all. Like it makes it seem like, yeah, that's great. Like she was
into it.
Let's have a real nice time. It was like the one time in this movie I didn't feel bad for the girl that was on screen. Even though she was getting offered up as like a fucking bowling ball to these two dudes. But but then like something happens I don't even remember, where he has his pants off and it makes it look like he's fucking, and Christopher McDonald walks in and he's like, "Good job, son." Great.
Right, and they leave them to it, and yeah. I like that you did mention that it's the one moment where we feel that way, and that moment she is just like a steak.
Yeah,
that's all she is being. Yeah, that's good. That's how these movies feel, though, at this point. Yeah.
All right, so it's party time. We got to catch up with Dwight. And here's something I noticed at this party, Henry. Hip hop.
Okay.
It's the first time in any of these movies they're listening to hip hop.
Oh, I mean, there's been hip hop on the soundtrack a couple.
No, there hasn't. It's all just
football game.
At the football game? Oh, I wish I was a little bit taller, but that's like a novelty song. This is the first time they're like hip hop is like the generic music in the background of one of these movies. It's 2007.
Right.
I mean, by this point, there is no rock and roll anymore.
It's done.
So it instead of hearing like the shitty, like Simple Plan, Good Charlotte of it all, we're hearing like shitty generic hip hop, which I'll take.
It was better for me.
Yeah. Same.
It was much better for me, so I didn't mind it, to the point where I barely noticed it, I guess, because in the other movies it's so noticeable and so overblown all the time that having the hip hop there was it was quite refreshing.
So they're going to pledge Beta House, which is Dwight's frat. And
he takes him to meet this kid who plays piano, and he's like a blackout drunk.
Oh, he's the head of the frat. Yeah, he's like he's a very effete sort of dude, but then like the second he has a drink in him, like he can't stop and he gets blackout drunk. And I felt like pulling him aside and being like, "There's a word for that."
I think that word applies to most of the characters in this movie.
Like, hey, buddy, I think you need to find a meeting.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, like, everyone drinks like this in college, but there's like a special kind of person where you can see like they're gonna keep doing this.
Yeah. And he goes to Thailand. It's shown in a flashback.
Right, he adopted like some Asian kid and then like gave him up to like the local embassy.
Yes, that was a great scene.
Yes,
he gets on a plane. He asks, "Where am I? Where was it from?" Anyway. That's to illustrate that he drinks a lot. And then they lay out, in order to get into this frat house, they have to do a list of, 51?
It's something like that, yeah. It's like 50 things. It's like a scavenger hunt or whatever. And they're on the fence about Eric at this point because, believe it or not, he vomited on some girl's boobs at the party. Also, the party gets broken up by this other frat who are going to be like the antagonists of this movie. They're a geek frat, and they're like, I don't know. They're supposed to be like the smartest guys in the school. They all got like perfect scores on their SATs. They're all like rich kids, and so like they always have hot girls around, even though they're nerds. And like, I have so many problems with this as a basic premise.
Right. Go ahead. Elaborate.
One, if these guys are so much better at school, then why are they going to the same school?
That's a great point.
They're
at the University of Michigan.
I went to Hunter. Everyone was basically like around the same level of intelligence. We all got into this school the same way.
I guess
if these guys are like geniuses building robots in their fucking frat house, like why aren't they at like MIT?
Yeah, Stanford, Harvard,
Northwestern or something.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I never thought of that. It's a great point.
So that bothered me.
Okay.
Also, they're treated as the villains in this movie, but they're the ones getting bullied. They're the ones being called nerds and geeks. And
this is true. And just to make it make sure that it doses up the racism for our white viewers, in the geeks, we got to make sure we got an Indian kid, we got an Asian kid, we even have a black kid. Not so the case with our heroes, though.
All whites. They're our heroes, the whites, and. So and the geeks, they don't break up the party. They show up at this party, and they're like, we've used math to calculate that you're going to be out of kegs right about now. And then someone comes in, hey, we're out of kegs.
Yeah, and then my thought was just go buy more.
Yeah, and like, if you didn't get enough, that's on you. The geeks didn't determine how much beer you bought for this party. Why are you getting mad at them?
Not only mad, but then
they seek revenge after this.
They seek revenge, and they're also just kind of sitting there with empty bottles, like lamenting the fact they're totally out of booze. And
I like that scene because there's one girl still dancing naked, even though the party got broken up.
I only remember that scene because Eric vomits again in that sequence without drinking anything. He just vomits liquid again. He's going to have some serious esophageal problems later in life. I mean, if he keeps vomiting that much.
Some people vomit a lot.
All the time?
Yeah, I've known people like that. I'm not a vomiter.
Yeah.
I've vomited. I mean, I'm an alcoholic, and I've vomited, I think, under 15 times in my life.
Vomiting is very bad for the neck.
Yeah, but it can help a hangover pretty good.
Yeah, but this guy's still actively fucking, what's the point?
Anyway, it's still like night.
Right. What a fucking conversation.
All right, so they go off to do some of these things on the list. First things first, strip club, and they get into a physical fist fight with the strippers at this club. Dwight Stifler is like, I love a good stripper brawl. Like, this is a thing that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And I have a theory, Henry.
I want to hear it.
If you're having a fist fight with strippers at a strip club, it's probably you that did something wrong.
Is this a scene when the stripper kicks Coos off the stage and when he wants her to sign his ass?
Yes. This is that scene.
All right. Same sequence. Sorry.
Same sequence.
Yes.
Because remember, at the end of the sequence, Eric does get that one girl to sign his ass.
Oh, yes.
Great stuff. There's a thing with an ostrich.
Yeah.
And the ostrich headbutts one of them. That's identical to a scene from Dude, Where's My Car?
Where was Ashton Kutcher, man? Could have used him.
Are you kidding me? In 2007, he was way too big for this shit.
No, I know, I'm kidding. But it would have been nice to see his charismatically challenged face.
What? Charismatically challenged? I'd take Ashton Kutcher over any actor in any of these movies.
Well, that's why I said him. But yeah, he was actually at 2007, wasn't he? He was very knee deep in Demi Moore, right?
Oh, he might have been fucking Demi Moore at this point. I mean, what is it? I feel like around 2005, 2006 was around when he was doing like Guess Who and A Lot Like Love.
Why do we know who he is? What was his thing?
He was a model and no. That 70s show was the first big thing, and then he parlayed that into the success of Punk'd.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
And then he was a major movie star.
That's great.
And then he replaced Sheen on 2.5 Men.
Okay, all right.
And now he's on The Ranch on Netflix. What a
The
career.
Ranch.
He's also sometimes a guest shark on Shark Tank. He has so much money that he's a guest shark on Shark Tank.
Wow. We should mention in this movie, Coos starts to develop a crush and has a relationship with the Georgia Peach.
Great storyline, by the way. Yeah, Georgia Peach. She's from the South, Southern fucking Canada.
Very bad Southern accent, but she's kind of an adorable actress. She's really trying, and it's sad to see her not pulling off a Southern accent.
I enjoyed this scene, and I guessed the twist ending immediately.
Yeah, I actually got it. I didn't get it immediately, but I got it
instantly.
Pretty quick.
Now, this guy, Coos, he starts hooking up with this girl, and she won't let him. Every time he reaches to touch her puss, she says, "Let me do you." And he's like, "Fine, I'll take a blowjob."
Right.
But then, like, ultimately, it starts getting weird, and he tells his friends about it. His friends, of course, respond, "Well, she must be a hermaphrodite."
Right.
So she has to have a dick. I did giggle a little bit at the dream sequence where she takes her pants off and has a big dick.
The dream within a dream.
That is
Remember?
a dream within a dream, yes.
A little Inception going on there. You think he got his idea from this movie, Nolan?
This was pre-Inception. You got to assume. I'm going to assume that until someone proves me wrong.
You know, I was watching. A lot of it comes from Freud. A lot of it comes from Jung. But some of the dream architecture does come from the American Pie Presents Beta House.
Yes. Waller. I was very influenced by Waller and Nussbaum.
Old Nussy, as we refer to him in the BAFTA.
He was Wally Pfister's assistant on Dunkirk. Henry, so what's going on with this girl's pussy? That's a big mystery in this movie. And you forget about it for like a half hour at a time, and then like we check back in with it.
We check back in with it, meaning the storyline, or we check back in with
her pussy. It's the pussy mystery. And no, it really is. Like every so often, there's a scene where it's just like they're hooking up, and it's like, oh right, he's gonna go for the vagina again. Let's see what happens.
Right, you're absolutely right. If there's no context, it'll just flash to that, no matter what else is going on in the quote unquote plot line. And there really isn't a plot line. It's just geeks versus beta. It's all to lead up to this final Olympiad, right?
Yeah, I read that when Eric Lindsay pitched this movie to the studio, he said, "We can't be afraid to copy Animal House. Animal House did everything first, so we can't be afraid to just copy it." So I love this dude's whole pitch to the studio was like, let's rip something off and not feel bad about it.
And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
here's your money. Get
Green
out of my
light.
office.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All right. So Eric is hooking up with this girl that he met in the shower. By the way, they hook up about a half hour into this movie, and then there's no drama for the rest of the movie. They're just a couple.
Yeah, it's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah. But there's this one scene where they're hooking up, and he hasn't been masturbating because of the incident in the last movie.
So a little trauma there.
A little trauma there.
Yeah.
But we get to see him come again. It shoots through the air in slow motion and hits a family photo that she has on her bureau. And one of her teddy bears, which I didn't appreciate, and that's fucked for life. That teddy bear. Are you kidding me?
I would think so.
Come in a teddy bear's little fur.
I would think
it's
so.
going to be crunchy for the rest of your life.
Oh,
you better throw that thing out.
All right. Yeah, Dan wasn't kidding, and it is slow motion, and which I just resented because it made the running time 2 seconds longer than it needed to be.
Although this one, I'll tell you what, the one thing Beta House has over The Naked Mile, it is short.
It is short. It's under 90.
Mercifully short. Without credits, Henry, this movie's an hour and 21 minutes.
That's when I turned it off. So, yeah, it was 81 minutes of my life.
Okay. Yeah. While this is going on, Dwight Stifler attends a meeting of SLA, Sex and Love Anonymous, which is...
that's right.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a group for sex addicts. I had a friend, Deanna, who... Wait, I should not say her name.
You'll clip that out.
I won't, but no one knows who it is. It's fine.
You'll clip.
I'm not going to clip it out. I'm too lazy.
Okay.
Whatever. So this girl, I knew her. She went to those meetings, and they really helped her for a while. I will say that I want to judge.
I was waiting for the punchline, just waiting.
I want to judge Dwight Stifler for like seducing this girl at an SLA meeting, but like I didn't exactly do that, but I kind of made it happen.
Horrible person.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad time for me.
Okay.
So there you go. But so she takes him home, and he fucks her so hard. I mean, she fucks him so hard that he gets scared and leaves. And then his roommate comes into the room, and she's still there, and she's like, "Now you fuck me."
Right. He does it 3 times.
Yeah, girls are just fuck monsters in these movies.
Yeah. She's not satiated, and she gets the curly-haired Friday the 13th extra to get on the bed, and yeah. Luckily,
I thought that dude was okay, actually.
Well, he looks the part.
Yeah,
you know?
And he has little enough to do that his like bro-y lines aren't as annoying as some of the people that are supposed to be our heroes.
Yeah, good point. Great point. Yes.
Great. Okay, what happens next, Henry?
Why don't we just go straight to the Greek Olympiad?
All right, yeah. So they're fighting the Greek squad in a Greek Olympiad, which is a series of games and tasks involving sex. I mean, everything. And the thing is, there's no conflict in this movie. The premise of this movie at first is ostensibly, how are they going to complete these 50 tasks that the frat set them up to do? And the conclusion of that storyline is they do them.
It's over.
Then they join the frat. That's it.
Then
we set up a love interest for our main character, and then they get together, and that's that storyline.
So really, the only cliffhanger we're waiting on is Georgia Peach's vagina.
Yeah, the Georgia. Yes, definitely. But also, what's going to happen with this geek fraternity?
That's right, and we do get a glimpse of Jordan Prentice.
That's right. The dwarf from the last one shows up, and just so he can set up a flashback of the head of the geek fraternity fucking a sheep, and they're going to use that against him.
That was great. That was good flashback. I needed to see that. It was like the documentary Zoo. It was great. Yeah, I never saw that documentary.
Nor did I. No.
That's good. I don't need to see that.
So what are some of your favorite tasks?
Well, what do we got? We got the lightsaber duel in the pool.
Mm-hmm. There's one where they have to catch a pig, and there's the one kid using parkour because it's 2007.
And he's Asian.
Yeah, and they have to like tell the audience what parkour is. But it's not parkour. The definition of parkour, as I was told by 100 movies in the year 2007, is
Casino Royale, fucking The Office. I mean, it's
cop out, fucking. I believe Live Free or Die Hard even had some. Parkour, it's the way of getting from point A to point B in the fastest time without taking any detours, like going straight. So you jump on something, you jump over some stuff. But in this, he's not doing that. He's just doing a bunch of flippy doos.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an Asian acrobat.
Yeah. Then they do the one that's a weird reference to the Deer Hunter.
Yes.
Where they do Russian roulette. They call it Greek roulette with loads of horse semen. I don't know how they got it.
I mean, you know...
By the way, and all of this is being presented by Eugene Levy.
Right. And that's when, I was already done with him, but at that point, it was just exhausting to watch him act.
Yeah, like, if this is Jim's dad, I don't want to spend any more time with Jim's dad.
No. I mean, it's over. We have a taking off the bra contest.
Right. Right. And then it all ends up, the big one... Oh, there's a drinking contest, which turns into a puking contest. And then what happens is... It's come down to the last task, as it always does in movies like this. And it's going to be Dwight Stifler and the head of the geek frat. Right. And they're going to sit next to each other in chairs with their pants on. And a series of women are going to give them lap dances. And it's whoever comes in their pants first loses the Greek Olympiad.
Yes.
So... girls are jumping over themselves to volunteer for this because that's women in these movies. And,
that's right.
And then you get the big moment that girl, the Zoftig girl, the fat roommate's girlfriend, comes out dressed like a sexy sheep and gives the geek a lap dance. And because he once fucked a sheep.
That's right.
Which we know from that flashback.
That's right.
He gets so turned on by the sexy lady sheep that he comes in his pants. And if I may, Henry.
Oh, you may.
You ever come in your pants before?
Wait, let's go back. Say, if I may, Henry.
If I may, Henry.
No, you may not.
Come on, have you?
I'm not answering questions like that.
Listen, all I'm saying is this.
Do you mean involuntarily?
Yes.
I'm not answering that question.
Okay. This geek, okay, he starts coming when the sheep is giving him a lap dance, and he goes like, oh!
I wish you guys could have just seen the face Dan just made. It wasn't quite as good as his fucking disastrous pratfall earlier, but it was pretty close.
One time, Henry.
Oh, God, here we go, folks.
I was drunk.
Okay.
And I was in my living room.
Okay.
And I was watching porn on my iPad at the time.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was masturbating, but my pants were still on. It was like sort of like I was doing it through my underwear. Okay? And I had a blanket on me. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then my roommate, okay, who's a girl.
Okay, God, it wasn't me, was it?
No. This is I won't say when, but this was another time. It was a female roommate.
Wasn't me. Okay.
Walks in the room,
no.
And I thought I was alone. And the shock of her walking into the room made me come.
Wow.
And so she's
weird.
She comes into the room like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing today? What's up?" And I'm coming. And she never knew, Henry. She never knew because it's easy to just not make a dumb face.
Right, you stifled.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh, ah!
Did you answer? Were you like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah? Like as I was coming, I was like, lazy day. I'm off from work.
Oh, you said like a full sentence.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'd be great. You were like, actually, I'm fine. I just got off work. I'm just relaxing here in the bed, and that is it.
Yeah.
Wow, full paragraph. All right, good for you.
So I'm just saying, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Right, that's what that story was about.
Okay.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. Now let's wrap up
Right.
the more important storyline. Obviously, what's going on with this girl's vagina?
So she has she has female ejaculation.
She squirts.
Yeah.
Now,
I wanted you to say that.
I have had the extreme pleasure of being in a relationship with a squirter, and it's a delightful thing. It's not at all weird. It is totally sexy, and I didn't appreciate it being treated as some kind of sideshow act in this fucking movie.
It really is, isn't it? It's a fucking circus freak. Yeah.
I mean, like, Dwight Stifler gives him a high five. Like, not every girl can do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's true. But also, like, some girls do just do that naturally. Like, that's what their bodies excrete.
That's why, like you, when I figured it out right away, like when that's what it was, I was like, what are these fucking sexual amateurs who make these fucking movies, you know?
No,
they treat it like it's, you know.
No, I say sit on my face and emulsify me in your in your womanly juices. You know? Marinate my face.
Is there another rating that we can get on this show that's beneath the one we already have? Is it like a this is E for, what is this? E for everyone?
E for everyone. Yeah.
F for fucking lowlifes. Can we get that?
F for fake. All right, Henry. So that's it. That's this movie, basically. You have anything else to say about it?
I don't. I was really pleased to come to the end of this movie, even though it was short. I felt the length, but not quite as long as I did in The Naked Mile, just because there was even though that was longer.
I thought this was a worse movie than The Naked Mile.
I did too. I actually did too, and I can't even really pinpoint why.
There's just no plot. There's nothing. Like in the last one, at least like you kind of wanted him to end up with his girlfriend.
Yeah, and you have some odd. I mean, you get the dwarves in there. You get the.
I'm not gonna say that as a positive.
That was a great addition. You get. I mean, I don't know, man. They're both just garbage. But I did feel like The Naked Mile was more tolerable.
It's just more watchable.
More watchable, I guess.
Yeah. This one was really bad. I want to say that I believe that the director has good taste in movies. There were a couple of posters that led me to believe that.
Oh, I saw one that I noticed was very good. Go ahead. What did you see?
Kuz, in his room, had a Wet Hot American Summer poster and a Dazed and Confused poster.
Yes.
But much more weirdly, he had a full-size poster of the Neil LaBute film The Shape of Things.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Which would make sense. I mean, maybe the directors of American Pie Presents are misreading Neil LaBute movies and they just hate women. Maybe the Aaron Eckhart character from In the Company of Men directed these movies.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. Ay.
Yeah,
wow.
so that was one thing, and I don't know. I guess that's it. And someone referenced a weird sex thing that I never heard of before, and I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and now I can add it to my repertoire, Henry.
What's that?
Blumpkin. Do you know what a blumpkin is? That was something that they had to do. That was one of the tasks. Get a blumpkin.
I don't.
I looked it up because I didn't know what they were talking about.
Okay.
Getting a blowjob while taking a shit.
A blumpkin. Okay.
I've never gotten one.
I didn't know. I mean, everything has a name.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so great stuff. This is a 1. Who's your MVP?
Wait, you didn't get my rating.
Oh, it's a 1, right?
Yes.
All right.
MVP, I was gonna go with Georgia Peach because I kind of thought she was
She's
tad
fine. She's likable.
Yeah, she was a little charming, but you kind of made me want to just for the sheer sake of oddity in a movie like this, just give it to Margie.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Margie, the chubby girl. She's only
the normal girl.
No, totally the normal looking person in these movies. Yeah. She's my MVP. I thought she was funny and brought some energy to it, and
a lot of energy.
Just didn't seem like a disgusting person, so I'm going with her.
Yeah,
and I also thought she had like a pretty good little comedy act with her boyfriend.
Yeah, you did like that. My LVP was easy for me to write down actually during the movie, and that was Eugene Levy.
You know,
sick of it. I can't do it anymore.
I'm gonna say someone different just for the sake of it, but Eugene Levy really is bad in this movie. I couldn't take him for 1 second. But I'm gonna go ahead and say the main geek kid. I thought that kid was really bad, and also just like you could tell, like if they like took his glasses off and mussed with his hair a little bit, he was like a good-looking guy. Yeah,
exactly, 100%. Yeah.
He also had like a girlfriend that was like around, and I don't know if she had any lines in the entire movie, but she was in like every scene. Yeah. Who was also like a really attractive, tall, skinny girl wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Yes,
she was. Yeah, it's not believable. It was bullshit.
It was horrible movie. And all right, superhero count.
All right, I got I believe 4 or 5 here.
Oh, great.
And the great part about this is that since all the characters are interchangeable, they got names. I don't know who these people are.
I want to hear the names.
Angela Bashara.
Who's that?
She played Irene. Remember that character?
Yeah, I do, because I remember looking her up. She might have been like a stripper or something like that.
Okay. All right. well, she played...
Oh, no. She's the girlfriend of the geek.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, she was also in an undisclosed role in Mutant X.
Great. Okay, who's next?
Robbie Amell.
Oh, that was very enjoyable for me. Robbie Amell. He's actually like a real actor now. He's Robbie Amell. He's one of the beta pledges in this movie.
Yeah, he played Nick Anderson.
Yeah. He's got black hair. Really, I mean, built like a brick house and fucking whatever. But
that guy.
He got famous off his brother Henry. His brother Robbie Amell plays Green Arrow on Arrow.
And, of course, this fellow plays...
Firestorm?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. He's dead, I think. He died on The Flash, but...
now he plays Deathstorm on The Flash.
Sure, yeah. He's getting work from his brother.
There you go, okay.
I actually think he's a better actor than his brother. I mean, they're both wooden and shit, but, like, he's a little more charismatic.
Okay, all right, well done. Didn't catch it. 2 females. One lady with the beautiful name, Italia Ricci.
What a name, Italia Ricci. Looks like she's playing Laura Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, what are you following along with me? Wow,
yeah.
Look at that. Really doesn't trust my superhero count. She plays Silver Banshee on Supergirl.
Why not?
Sure. Now you'll know this one, right? Rachel Skarsten.
Oh, no? Yeah, I saw her on the IMDb page, but I couldn't figure out who she was in the movie. But I know who that actor is.
We've encountered her before on 50 Shades of Grey.
Really? Who's she play that?
character named Andrea.
Wait, that we also saw fucking Kebbell in one of the 50 Shades
That's
movies.
right.
Yeah,
that's right. The last one, Freed, I believe.
Yeah. So this girl, she's been around for a long time. She's gotten a lot of roles on shit. Probably most famously, maybe, was on that Birds of Prey show. So that ties into your superhero count.
Well, that's part of the superhero count. She played Dinah Lance in Birds of Prey,
and she's the main villain on the current Batwoman show.
That's it. You got it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. Great.